Tom and I have been members of the Church of the Advent for 53 years after we moved here from Orange Park, Florida. Tom grew up in Spartanburg at Bethel Methodist Church, and I grew up at an Episcopal, beautiful little Episcopal church in Emporia, Virginia. So, and while we were in Orange Park, we decided to go to a little Episcopal church. And Tom fell in love with that and became confirmed. So when we came back to Spartanburg, I think we both really knew that we wanted to be Episcopalians, but we kind of looked around. And we came to the Advent and just were in awe of the beauty of the church, of the music, just the atmosphere at the church. And the first time we came, we went outside in front and we stood around, but nobody talked to us. So we decided maybe it was too big. So, but then the next week we said, well, let's try again. So we came back again and we loved it. And we knew there was coffee hour in the undercroft. So we trooped out and went around to the steps that you go down to get to the undercroft. It's like going into a tomb. And we were so scared when we got to the bottom of the steps. And all of a sudden, this couple was sitting at a table and they came walking over and said, "We are Chris and Johnny Smith. Please come sit at our table." Well, I thought I was going to cry because somebody had introduced themselves to us, and then they introduced us to everybody else at the table. And we said, well, this is a friendly place after all, and this is where we want to be. So I think that always our spiritual home will be here at the Church of the Advent. Our hearts are here, and we will be back at some point. We love everybody here, and you'll always be in our hearts. Thank you.
Thinking about this, when you, after 50 plus years of being here and being involved, where do you start when you go down memory lane? Earliest recollections, I remember working with my good friend Ren Wilkes as co-superintendents of the Sunday school. At that time, I think we spent more of our time recruiting teachers than anything else, and getting here early to make sure that the building was open and that the rooms were set up. I remember coaching Church League basketball for 3 years. Remember fondly winning the league championship our senior year. I go back many vestries, working under 5 rectors dating all the way back to John Drake. Served 2 terms as senior warden, both of them being times when rectors left and we went through an interim time. The first being Charles Duvall leaving after he was elected Bishop of the Central Gulf Coast, and the second was following Clay Turner's retirement. I think back with fond memories of being involved on the team that put together the Advent Foundation under the leadership of Henry Barton and Walter Price. It's really remarkable to think back on that, which is getting ready to celebrate its 40th anniversary later this year, and remember that it started with about $130-something thousand and has grown over the 40-year period to its now present 11 plus 11.7 or something like that, $11+ million, which is just absolutely remarkable. I have fond memories of co-chairing the sesquicentennial commission with a celebration with Katie Hodge. Some highlights from that. We kicked it off with a birthday celebration dinner at the Memorial Auditorium and had over 600 people in attendance. We announced that then 2 gifts that the church wanted to make in the sesquicentennial year. One inward was a new stained glass window in the church to celebrate the sesquicentennial. The other was to establish an endowment for the St. Luke's Free Clinic, and we established that. The church made a gift of $150,000 to establish that endowment, $150,000, $1,000 for each of the 150 years we had existed. Those are memories that come to my mind, but more importantly, I join what Shirley said. This is our spiritual home, always will be. We've tried to love this place and care for it, and in return, it's loved us back and cared for us, and we're eternally grateful for that. Thank you.